Chapter 2 Introduction to MS Access 2010. In this chapter, you will learn about database and its characteristics, what is DBMs, what are its advantages, how to work with MS Access 2010, different components of the MS Access 2010 window, how to create a database, how to define a primary key, modifying a table design, sorting data, performing mathematical calculations on data. Records of one or the other type are maintained by almost all organizations. For example, a record containing information of teachers, students, and the administrative staff is maintained by a school. A record containing information of all employees is maintained by a company. A record of all of his or her clients is kept in a chartered accountant's office. Also, your family must be maintaining a record of the contact numbers and addresses of other family members, friends, and the neighborhood utility stores. We regularly update such records, adding new addresses and changing the old addresses. But updating and maintaining becomes very difficult when the records are in thousands. A database management system is a computerized record system that solves this issue. It creates extracts, updates, sorts data. Database. An organized collection of data is known as a database. Database maintenance is the core need of all organizations. A database provides easy data availability for the appropriate use of data at any point of time. Database characteristics. The example given below makes it easier to understand database characteristics. File name, student. Characteristics of a database are listed below. Value. A value can be an alphanumeric, numeric, or a special character. The smallest unit of a database is a value. Field. It is set of values of a single type. For example, roll number in the above example is a field. Record. It is the collection of fields. For example, in the given table, each row represents one record. File. It is a set of records that are related to each other in some way. Roll number, name, and the marks in different subjects in the given example can be recorded in a file. Database. It is a collection of files. Database designing. Let us have a look at the fundamental building blocks of database designing. Learning step by step the procedure of database designing is important before we begin with MS Access to make forms, tables, and other objects that together form a database. A good database design is an essential part of the process of creation of a database that performs the desired functions efficiently, effectively, and accurately. Steps in database designing. Following are the steps involved in designing a database. The objective and main purpose of the database has to be defined. The tables that are required have to be identified. The required fields have to be identified. Field or fields with unique values in each of the records have to be identified. Relationships between tables have to be recognized and determined. Design refinement has to be done. Data entry has to be done. Other database objects have to be created. Do you know MySQL is an open source software for databases? Database Management System (DBMS). A collection of related data in an organized way is known as a database. For example, a dictionary, a list of books in a library, a telephone directory, etc. all are stored in databases. A database has to be maintained and managed in an efficient way so that data can be retrieved, organized, sorted, and edited as desired. Database Management System (DBMS) is a software that carries out such functions. Some of the examples of DBMS software are MySQL, Microsoft Access, Oracle, and SQL. A DBMS provides the tools that are needed to create, retrieve, and maintain data. Data can be accessed, modified, searched, deleted, designed, sorted, and printed using a DBMS. Advantages of DBMS. Following are the advantages of using a DBMS. Reduction in data duplication and data inconsistency, reduction in programming effort, cost reduction, information is easily accessible, data independence, distributed processing, security and information integrity, suitability for large commercial organizations. Microsoft Access 2010. Microsoft Access 2010 is a powerful DBMS used for manipulating and organizing different types of data. It is a user-friendly and easy-to-use component of MS Office 2010. It can store a large amount of data. Computer-based databases can be built and managed using Microsoft Access on standalone desktops and also on computers present on networks. Almost all the tasks and functions of a DBMS can be performed by a user using Microsoft Access. The data is stored in table form so that you can create a database of your own. A variety of tables can be created and a relationship between them can thus be determined. Reports, queries, and forms are some significant features of MS Access which allow the user to retrieve the data when needed. Working with Microsoft Access 2010. Follow the steps mentioned below to start Microsoft Access 2010. Click on Start button, select All Programs, select Microsoft Office, click on Microsoft Access 2010. The opening window of Microsoft Access 2010 will appear. Select Blank Database. It is chosen by default when MS Access is started for the first time. In the right pane, there is a File Name box. Type a name for the file in it. The Browse button can be used to change the location where the file will be saved. Select the Create button. The MS Access 2010 window will appear. Components of MS Access 2010 window. Quick Access Toolbar, Title Bar, Status Bar. The various components of the MS Access window are: Title Bar. It displays the name of your database. It is at the top of the MS Access window. Quick Access Toolbar. It provides the user access to the frequently used commands, for example, undo, redo, save, etc. A Customize button is present on the right side of this toolbar with a down arrow. A menu appears on clicking this button. Ribbon. A ribbon is present just below the title bar from where the commands can be selected. A button is present in some sections of the ribbon. When clicked, a dialog box appears. Tabs. The ribbon is partitioned into different tabs. Some of the main tabs present on the ribbon are Home, External Data, Create and Database Tools. Any tab can be accessed by selecting its button or label. Groups. The options present in the ribbon are divided into different groups. Click a tab to see more commands. Each tab is divided into groups. Contextual Tools tabs appears when certain items or views are selected. Some groups will have an arrow that you can click for more options. Navigation pane. The various database objects are displayed here. Status bar. It contains the buttons that are used to change the views. It also displays information regarding the database. Views. Different views can be selected directly by choosing the required icons. Tabbed bar. The various database objects are present in tabbed documents instead of in overlapping windows. Do you know? To know the various access keys of a particular tab, press Alt plus F10. These keys can then be used to access a tab. For example, pressing H on the keyboard will open the Home tab. Database objects. Database objects are of various types. Data is stored in a database using tables. Entering data into the tables becomes very easy with the help of forms. Data is retrieved from the tables on the basis of some given criteria and is then printed onto the screen using a query. The data present in a database is displayed in a printed format by a report. Data types in MS Access. Various types of data can be stored in a field. Types of data that can be entered in a field are determined by the data type. The different data types available in MS Access 2010 are as follows. Text. It contains text, combination of text, numbers, for example addresses, and numbers which will not be used in any type of calculations, for example phone numbers and postal codes. Its size by default is 50 but can store up to 255 characters. Number. It contains data that is numeric in nature and can be used in various calculations. Currency. It specifies different currencies. It also prints them in a variety of formats. Date and time. It specifies the date and time. Date and time can be displayed in different formats. Yes and no. It can store the values true or false. Lookup and relationship. It shows a list of values. Memo. It can store long text. Repeat. It can store long text like descriptions of something and other notes. It can contain approximately 65,536 characters. Attachment. It is a special data type that permits external files to be attached to an MS Access database. Hyperlink. It consists of text or various combinations of text and numbers that are saved as text. These are included in the form of hyperlink addresses. Hyperlink data types can have up to 2048 characters. Calculated field. It gives the result of the calculation that must include fields of the same table. Expression builder is used to do the calculation. OLE object. It is capable of storing sounds, pictures, graphs, word processing, as well as spreadsheet files. Auto number. It consists of an integer whose value is automatically incremented or decremented as new records are added or the old ones are deleted. Autonumber data type will uniquely identify the records if a primary key is absent in a table. Creating a table. The commands that are required to create database objects are present in the Create tab. For creating a table, the Create tab is opened. The Table button is then selected. An MS Access window appears on the screen. An empty table named Table 1 in the datasheet view is present in the window that appears. This empty table will contain a field called ID. Adding more fields and saving. Click on the down arrow key on the Click to Add button. A complete list of all data types appears. Select the data type. Type the required field name at field 1 and press Enter. Now create 4 fields: student name, Hindi, English, and Maths. Select the Save button present in the Quick Access toolbar. A Save As dialog box will appear. The desired table name has to be typed here. Click OK. Do you know MS Access database file extension is .accdb? A table with the name you entered will appear in the navigation pane. Do you know changes can be made to a field name at any time by placing the cursor at the point of modification and typing the changed field name. Following are some rules to type a field name. Numbers, letters, and some other special characters like underscore can be included in a field name. A field name may contain 1 to 64 letters. A field name cannot include symbols like brackets and cannot be started with a blank space. A field name can be in uppercase, lowercase, or both. Defining a primary key in a table. A field that uniquely identifies a record is called a primary key. For example, employee ID or student roll number uniquely identify an entity and thus can be made the primary key. Follow the steps mentioned below to define a primary key. Click on the View option down arrow. It is present in the Views group that is under the Fields tab. A list of views will be displayed. Select the design view from the list that is displayed, or select the design view button that is present on the status bar. Click on the ID field name. Select the primary key button, which is in the Tools group present under the Design tab. Or the header of the column that has to be made the primary key can be right-clicked, and the primary key option can be selected from the shortcut menu that will appear. Rename this selected field to Roll Number. Adding data to a table. Change the view from Design View to Data Sheet View to input data to a table. Follow the steps given below to perform this task. Follow the steps mentioned below to define a primary key. Select the View option of the Views group, which is present under the Design tab. Select the Data Sheet view. Click on the first field and input some data after the table has been opened in the Data Sheet view. Arrow keys on the Tab key can be used to move to the next column. Opening an existing database. Follow the steps mentioned below to open a database that already exists. Select the File tab, click on the Open button. The Open dialog box will appear. Choose the drive and the folder that has the database file you want to open. Click on the desired file and click on the Open button. Modification of the table design. The design of a table can be modified in the Data Sheet view even after creating the table. The Data Sheet view permits the user to change the name of a field, move a field, insert a field, change the data type of a field, delete a field, and change the width of a column. Changing the column width. The default width assigned to each field by MS Access may be very wide or narrow for your requirements. For example, some of the information is hidden when the data exceeds the regular width of a column. If there is a column in your table that has some data which has to be displayed necessarily, the column width can be increased. Follow the steps given below to change the column width. Place the cursor on the right border of a column header. The mouse pointer will change into a horizontal double arrow crossed by a vertical line automatically. The column gets resized to the maximum width possible of that type when double-clicked at this place. Or a column's right border can be dragged in the direction you want, left or right, using the mouse pointer as required. Renaming a field. Follow the steps given below to rename the name of a field. Place the mouse pointer on the field that has to be renamed. Now right-click on this field. A pop-up menu appears on the screen. Select the Rename field option from the menu and type the new field name. Do you know the field name can be changed in the design view as well? Moving a field. The sequence of fields has to be changed many a time. Follow the steps listed below to move a field or change its position. Select the field whose position is to be changed. Place the mouse pointer on the field, click and then drag the pointer in the required direction, left or right. A thick vertical line guides you when you move your mouse. Release the mouse button when the vertical line gets placed at the position that is required. Inserting a field. Follow the steps given below for field insertion. Place the mouse pointer on the field where a new field is to be inserted and right-click. A menu appears. Select the Insert Field option. A new field, Field 1, gets inserted into the table. Set the name of this field as required. Deleting a field. Follow the steps listed below to delete a field from your table. Place the mouse pointer on the field which is to be deleted and right-click. A menu appears. Select the Delete Field option from the menu. As a result, the column and the data it contained will be deleted. Or click on the field you wish to remove from the table. Select the Delete button present in the Add and Delete group, which is under the Field tab. A dialog box will be displayed on the computer screen. To remove the selected field permanently from the table, click on Yes. Changing the data type of a field. Follow the steps listed below if you want to change the data type of a particular field. Select the field whose data type is to be changed. Click on the Data Type drop-down arrow present in the Formatting group. This group is further present under the Fields tab. From the drop-down menu, select the required data type. Data sorting. Data present in the tables can be arranged in the alphabetical order and the numbers can be sorted in ascending or descending order. To do so, follow the steps mentioned below. Clicking the drop-down arrow present on the right-hand side of the field name that is to be sorted will display a drop-down menu. The drop-down menu contains options such as Sort Smallest to Largest to arrange the data in ascending order and Sort Largest to Smallest to arrange in the descending order. Select the required option. The records present in the table will be sorted in the ascending or descending order according to the selection made. A small upward or downward arrow appears with the name of the sorted field. Select the ascending or descending option present in the Sort and Filter group, which is under the Home tab. The Remove Sort option present in the Sort and Filter group under the Home tab can be clicked if you want to undo the sort. Performing mathematical calculations with data. Many mathematical operations can be performed in MS Access like maximum, minimum, average, sum, count, etc. with the help of a feature known as totals. Following are the steps to perform the sum operation on data. Open the table which contains the data on which sum is to be performed in the data sheet view. The totals option present in the records group under the Home tab is to be selected. The totals row is displayed at the bottom of the data sheet. Click on the column in the totals row whose total sum has to be calculated. From the drop-down arrow that appears at the bottom of that column, select the required option. On selecting Sum as the option from the list, the sum total of the column values will be calculated. In the same way, other operations like minimum and maximum value of the data, average, etc. can be calculated. Summary. A database management system, DBMS, acts as an interface between the database that is present on your PC and the user using it. A set of values forms a field. A collection of the fields forms a record. A collection of records forms a file. A set of various files containing the data forms a database. A DBMS permits a user to perform various functions, for example, to access, delete, modify, sort, query, search, design, and print the data present in a database. A DBMS helps in reduction of data inconsistency, data redundancy, programming effort, and cost. Also, data accessibility becomes easier, and it also provides security and integrity of information. You can insert, rename, delete, move a field, or change the data type of any field of the table in the datasheet view of the data.